I think he's going to be late again.
I'm here. Hey guys, I'm Bill Kennedy with TheAIRSpace. Today we are going to talk about the GSI Creos PS289 airbrush. It is one of my most recommended airbrushes for beginners, but it's one of my most recommended general purpose airbrushes overall. Let's get into looking and see why I say that. Okay, so this airbrush is a 0.3 nozzle and it is a fairly long taper. It has, of course, a needle limiter, which I personally never use, but some people may find that handy. It has a MAC valve, and of course, they're a little bit different in that these are, angled versus most other airbrushes are not. I never found that to be a problem for me in practice. Usually I take these off. I usually never keep them around. As y'all know, I never keep mine on, so I always take it off and then they get lost. Well, I usually can never find them again, but I'll probably find that later. The cap that comes with these are satin instead of chrome, and that is the same on the PS270, which I also have. Very similar in construction to the PS270. As a matter of fact, let me go get my 270 and show you. Found it. All right, so this is the 270 in this hand, and this is the 289 in this hand. As you can see, they are extremely similar airbrushes, and the difference being, the only difference in those two airbrushes as far as external on the body would be the two little humps. So I guess that's the sister airbrush. It's got humps. So I'm going to do a disassembly real quick, but before I do that, I want to talk about the MAC valve. The MAC valve takes approximately 3 turns to go from fully closed to fully open, and when I say fully closed, it does fully shut the air off. Okay, so a lot of people won't understand what 3 full turns is, so I thought I would display. I want to show you guys, see how smooth that is, displaying the MAC valve moving on this eraser, so you can see how that is turning the MAC valve and how it has quite a bit of travel there. So while I had this apart, I wanted to be able to show you guys one of the interesting things about these airbrushes is this is the head assembly that comes out of the PS289. This is the head assembly that comes out of the GSI Creos PS771. All right, so I have had this airbrush for a little bit, and I have been using it in my day-to-day operations, which those of you who follow me and have followed me for some time know I paint a lot of pets. So I paint pet portraits pretty regularly where I need to spray very, very large open spaces on canvas, and I also need to go down into some pretty fine detail. And I like general purpose airbrushes like this because they allow me to do almost everything with one airbrush, and I don't have to continuously change airbrushes. What is the deal with the GSI Creos name brand? Well, GSI Creos falls under the Mr. Hobby brand, and I think they're trying to get away from the name Mr. Hobby, because make no mistake about it, that these are not just suitable for hobby artists. These are serious airbrushes for serious airbrush artists. So since I have a MAC valve, I am just going to set my compressor on 45 PSI right there, and I'll just use my MAC valve to do any controlling. I'm going to do some test sprays, and I am not going to spend a lot of time doing test sprays in here. We will go through. I will show you guys. I had set my airbrush up and then used the MAC valve to control it. First started out with some burnt umber, and I just loaded it in my cup and put a little thinner in there. Don't know what that reduction ratio was, and just began spraying. So I was showing on the paper here that obviously you can open it up a pretty good bit, and then you can get down to some pretty ridiculous and fine detail. I'm popping up some images on the screen, and you can see how small some of those details can be. And obviously not everything is about art and not everything is about having detail. So if for my friends that do modeling and stuff like this, I'm going to take the spoon and then we're going to load up some opaque paint in there, and we're going to cover that spoon. Took 3 tries, and we are going to cover the spoon up. And as you can see, it builds up pretty well. It sprays out well, and the paint is flowing out very well. And then as you can see in this final image, that we achieve complete opaque coverage in 3 passes. And for those of you that are interested, it is going to weigh in at 116 grams. For those of you in the United States, I am not going to do that conversion for you. I'm in the United States myself. And yeah, it's just going to be the way it is. All right, now would be a really, really good time to hit the subscribe button if you haven't hit it yet, because I'm going to have a lot more content coming out. I just bought some new gear. For those of you who've been following me for a while, if you could tell me what you think about the audio and the video quality. I have not mastered my new gear, but I am in a totally new process, totally new editing software, new camera, the whole 9 yards. And you know, so now would be a really good time for you guys to shop my link, because this stuff is really expensive and I could use some money, and my dogs like to eat. It is going to be difficult to review an airbrush without at least some passing comparison to the Iwata HPCS, which is one of the airbrushes I have used for many years, and it is one of my favorite airbrushes of all time, and it is one of the most popular airbrushes of all time. So as you can see, the difference between the trigger to the tip is a little bit longer on the GSI Creos Ps289, and in the back, the only difference really as far as length goes is the needle limiter sticks out. What makes that appear a little bit longer, and it does not make a lot of difference in actuality in painting. Of course, you got the MAC valve on the 289, which is going to be a plus in its category. Hey guys, so none of it really matters how good it sprays off the bat if it is not durable. Is that correct? So I am not concerned about the durability of this airbrush at all. For one, 2 or 3 weeks in my hands, the way I kind of use airbrushes, is a really long time by most people's standard. And secondly, I've had the 270, which is an excellent airbrush, and I have had this for a couple of years, and I have not even so much as had to change a nozzle on this airbrush. So if you are going to be interested in a head-to-head between this and such as, say, the Iwata Eclipse, or if you can check out some of the other airbrushes, if there's an airbrush you're interested in knowing a little bit about, let me know. Drop me something down in the comments below. For those of you that are interested, I am going to have links down in the description to where you guys can buy both this brush and this brush. This brush is absolutely excellent and near flawless. This is an excellent brush as well, one of the reasons that I recommend it. And I'm going to probably try to wrap myself out of here and get myself out of here today, guys. Once again, I am Bill Kennedy with TheAIRSpace. We appreciate you coming by here today. Y'all have a good one. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye.